So yeah, we have around 30 minutes just to discuss about Uber and how we tackle our AV challenges. In fact, I have two of our Uber colleagues sitting behind. If there's any questions, you can also address to them. um, so I just want to talk about the best practices in AV at Uber. Before that, I also would like to give a little nutshell about what Uber is, because for most of us, Uber, like maybe most of the people who are outside Uber, is just a transportation company. But it's much more than a transportation company. Um, so we have our EMEA team is almost in around 223 cities, 39 countries, and 3 regions, of course, Europe, Middle East, and Africa. So that means that we have offices in around 223 cities, which we have been growing in the past 4 to 5 years. That means that we are opening offices almost every month. And that it's also around 2 to 3 offices per month. Um, puts a lot of pressure on the people who are working behind the scene. Um, so our EMEA headquarters is housing around 750 plus employees, um, and if you look at Uber globally, we have offices around 600 plus cities around across 65 countries. After the deals in East Asia, Russia, and China, which we have merged into other local competitors. So that's about the size of Uber and why implementing AV and other technology solutions in Uber is more challenging that we can possibly match. Um, Again, globally we have around 23,000 employees. It's growing. It's full-time employees that I'm talking about. Um, and on an average, we have around one conference per 10 employees. That makes it around 22,000 plus AV conference rooms across the globe. Um, but we have much more than that. If you look at LinkedIn at any time, so this is a screenshot that I took around a week back. We have around 62,500 employees plus, including externals. So which means that our resources are being used by so many people on a daily basis. And in AV and non-AV, we have around 5,000 plus meeting rooms just to give the resources to these employees working across the globe. So so what's the problem that we have at hand? It is our growth, and that has been our problem for the past so many years to enable this growth, the business growth, behind the scene. So if we fail, they fail. The business fails. So that's why it's very important for us to streamline our solution to implement the business needs. So how have we been tackling this growth? The demand for the growth is with the help of our amazing AV team working behind the scene. So we have, these are the couple of points that I have put down, which we have been following very strictly to make sure that we are enabling that growth. So the first point is around the strict guidelines per office types and room types. So we don't deviate from any room types per office types. So we also have like strict guidelines about what kind of office that we can build. It's around 4 offices. So per office type, we also have like very, very strict guidelines in terms of what kind of room that we can build in this office. So whether it's a dual display, single display, it's what medium, small, large. So it does not, we can't deviate from those rooms. And it's very important for us to keep those standards from within Uber. The second one is on pre-agreed bill of materials. So we make agreements with the manufacturers and agree that, okay, this is the kind of display that we can use. This is a specific brand of display, the model of the display that we can use across the globe. But we do give flexibilities depending on the region. For example, in Middle East, we may go for Samsung. In Africa, we may go for LG, depending on the manufacturer's supply capacity. But it's very important for us to agree with the bill of material, which we cannot deviate. So it's not just about giving a functioning audio-visual room. It's also about whether it follows the standards that we have set across different regions. The third one is, of course, agile partners. So it's very easy to go for a global partner and tell them, hey, implement this across the globe. But for us, it is not that easy. We need to make sure that the partners that we choose per region are agile enough and they can implement the solution within the certain shorter time span that we have. So which we will be talking about in the next slides. Um, so agile partners is, I think, one of the biggest point for us to succeed in the strategy that we chose. The third one is regional specific vendors, which we already talked about. So it's about the manufacturers, suppliers, and integrators. So these are the three external parties that we want to work with. Um, so recently, while we are evolving as a company to, of course, Uber wants to go for IPO. We want to be a public company. Um, so we also started, having a compliance team, a procurement team, so that we don't we do the right thing on the right time. We have made sure that we have again import and export agencies which who can work with us to make sure that our standards are followed across the globe. So we have pre-agreements in Africa, Eastern Europe, or Latin America, to make sure that our pre-agreed the equipments could be imported on time with the least possible expense. Now, the clear instructions. So this is like one of the most important aspect for the vendor. So we don't want to throw our problem to our vendor and expect them to solve our problem. We want to give them clear instructions in terms of what we actually want, so that we don't give any chance for them to make any mistakes. And in spite of that, if they still make a mistake, then we have we sit and talk. But we make sure that they have like clear instructions. There is no scope for mistakes. So this is actually done by our AV team who is working behind the scene. Um, Another aspect of clear instructions in terms of where the speakers go, where the table goes, what the distance between the wall and table, the displays, what the height of the displays, and also our AV team makes sure that these standards are revised based on the time goes by. So we have another version of the standard. So every year this standard is being revised depending on the model that we choose. So that's also has been very important for us. Um, and once we have that, we have to make sure that we work together with our workplace team and other teams who has to coordinate with us. For example, network, IT, general contractors, low voltage companies. So this planning is something that we strictly follow across the globe. Of course, there are deviations depending on the market. So we make sure that we have our different deliverables from different parties, so that when the AV vendor goes to the site with their equipments, with the employees, they have everything ready so that they can install and implement things within a week or 2 weeks, depending on the size of the office. For example, yesterday I got a call from a fine bill run manager, and he asked, like, how much time will it take for for 800 square meter office? So it's the answer is very very standard, that 1 week. So we have a standard answer to our business, so that we keep this schedule and make sure that it is in line with our vendors and partners' expectation. Um, so once we implement that, another most important thing is educating the users, right? Um, so we make sure that the users have the right information so that they use the tools in the right way. And most importantly, we also have pre-agreed maintenance contract with the vendors, depending on the market again, um, and yearly upgrades, streamlined ticket management system, and we have an amazing 13-member AV team to support AV issues globally. And in fact, all the artifacts that I have seen in the presentation is prepared by the AV team, including what you see right now. So they constantly update the information so that there is no confusion between what is expected and no what goes wrong. Um, so that's all what I have for today. To in terms of what is the challenge that we face in Uber and how we implement AV in our office. So I'm open for any questions if you have.
Being a global organization so far,
I can't hear. Sorry.
what is your AV solution in terms of GPOs, global purchasing organizations? Are you a member of your procurement team has does your procurement team have any sort of global purchasing organizations membership?
Yeah, so our procurement team is globally present. They have membership in many other many organizations, and they're based in Amsterdam. And they make sure that they can help us to import the equipments across the globe. So, for example, the EMEA team help us to import into Africa, Middle East, and of course Europe. But then it depends on which team that we have. So for our EMEA team is like yeah, well established.
Can
Yeah.
you can you mention a couple?
Sorry.
Can you mention a couple?
No, because I don't work in procurement team, so I can get that information from the procurement team and let you know
All right.
if you connect. Yeah, yeah. We offload that responsibility to the procurement team. So sorry for that.
When a manufacturer brings out a new product, and then you think, okay, this is a cool bit of kit and I want to use it in my room, how do you switch the standard to start implementing that new technology to keep them up to date?
Yeah, so a very good question, in fact. So as I mentioned, our AV team constantly upgrade our bill of materials. So they keep an eye on the new products, new solutions, and once they choose a new product, they update the AV standards. And it's not necessary that we roll out that AV standard across all 600 cities because it's very expensive. But we make sure that in our new offices we implement those new standards, and we always have an yearly upgrade. And if during that upgrade we make sure that our headquarters and important offices are upgraded to the new standards. That's how we make sure that we are up. We keep up the
Up
new
to speed.
standards.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Thank you.
yeah. Okay. I think that is pretty much it. Yeah. Thank you, everyone.